Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. It is Samara Michelle Days, your small business and nonprofit strategist. I just wanted to hop on today to talk to you guys a little bit about incorporating. And I'm going to give it a few seconds just to let a couple people jump on. And then I am going to get started. Again, it is Samara. I hope everybody is doing good. I am in Atlanta, and the weather is absolutely perfect here in Atlanta. It is. So I came out on my patio, and those of you that know, I have a infant, so I didn't want him to wake up from his nap and start crying in the background either of the live. So I just wanted to come out on the patio, feel the breeze, and get ready to give you guys some good business info. And so, first of all, hello everybody that's watching this live is in the small business strategy group, but I often post the replay on my page, and if you are not, you can go to small business strategy group on Facebook and join us. I put in lots of tips and lots of motivation and links to business funding and resources and all sorts of things that I provide for you guys. And all of my workshops are available at samaramichelle.com. And you can find me in the business strategy group or at Samara Michelle on Facebook, Samara.Michelle on Instagram. And I am just here to help you with all of your small business needs. So, first of all, I want to start by saying who this is appropriate for. So many of us do business and we don't have actual business. We're not actually incorporated with the state. And so I am going to say I am not an accountant and I am not a lawyer. So if you have legal questions or you have accounting questions, make sure that you are advised by people that do that as a profession. I'm a consultant and I'm always speaking to you from the things that I know and the things that I recommend to my clients. But you always must do your due diligence, whether you're reading it online, if you're listening to it from a consultant or whoever. Make sure you are just going through the process and doing things that are specific to your business. And so, as far as becoming a business in the legal sense, in order to actually be considered a small business, in America, small businesses are any business that have less than 500 employees, which that is a big range, right? We're learning now with all of the business funding because of COVID-19 and all of the things that small businesses aren't really that small. It's a lot of businesses that are pretty large corporations in respect to their operating expenses that are big. But all of that small business money is available to people that are just artists, that are dancers, that are I call them solopreneurs. They're those business owners that don't have any employees. It's just you and your talent, and you're selling it. So whether you're a writer or you make cakes, I have a couple clients that are caterers. Um, you guys are solopreneurs and you make money. I have lots of artist clients, dancers, people that producers, that people put on plays, actors, and all of you guys are a business. And I know a lot of us have heard Jay-Z say, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And he is personally a business, and all of us can make sure that we have that distinction. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. So if you have a sole proprietorship, which is like a solopreneur, and it's just you can get business income and you can get write-offs on your taxes, and you have to put that business income on your regular taxes on your 1040, and um, that makes you a business whether you are incorporated or not, right? If you get business income from something other than your job, babysitting, any of those types of things, that is considered business income, right? And so there are some benefits that a lot of people are missing from being business owners. And just because it's our side hustle, sometimes we feel like it's not worthy of those designations. But I felt the need to come on and talk to you about this because I have a couple friends that have been in business for a long time and didn't necessarily have these business entities in place. And it hadn't stopped them a whole lot, but now in this climate where there's a lot of business money and a lot of small business opportunities, I find it important to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. Another thing is that just oftentimes small business, and when I say small business, I mean like 3 employees. I'm not talking about the American definition of small business, but so I should say like grassroots businesses. A lot of times it's, we're getting off the ground and we don't have the money for the paperwork, or we don't have, we haven't got our things in order. Well, if you're listening to this or somebody like this, encourage them to make sure that they get their business affairs in order. Most states incorporation is $100 or less. You can find incorporation information on your state's corporation website. And so I'm going to talk to you about the differences in the corporations. And I'm going to really, really focus on LLC, because the LLC is a limited liability corporation. And so I want to talk about why it's important to get that designation, especially for all of our solopreneurs and our artists and our just us. And we're going to put that information. We're going to make sure that that information is, that we have that designation. So the first reason that we want to make sure that we are, that we have everything in order is because for your taxes. And so you want to make sure that you have the option to do whatever it is that you want to do as far as your tax liability. So it allows tax filing flexibility. And what that means is you will have the option of filing your taxes as a separate corporation, like an S Corp or a corporation. But for LLC, you can put it right on your regular taxes the way that you have before. The difference is that you have a business designation. So now you can go open up a business bank account and you have a name that's legally your business, and you can get checks in that business. And so it's going to help you in that respect. When it's time for you to get business funding or opportunities for small businesses, often they'll ask you for your EIN number, and they'll ask you for your incorporation information with the state, and you'll have it. It'll be done and it'll be there. And so a lot of times whenever somebody is giving out grant money or funding or even opportunities and contracts, you have to have that stuff in place. There is no reason for them to hire me, for example, to do these things without my documentation in place when Susan has her stuff in place, right? So we need to make sure that we have all of our stuff in place, so that we are just as competitive with the next person. So there are some tax advantages. If you have business income on your taxes, then you can write certain things off. So it's a whole list of things that you can take advantage of. Like your cell phone is a really big one. If you're doing business and you have cell phone expenses, if you have internet, those are home office things that you're able to deduct off your taxes. And just be clear that when people talk about tax deductions, they're not talking about line for line, number for number tax deductions, but these deductions allow your tax liability from that business income to go down. So it's very helpful. If you are a W-2 employee and you are paying for internet or phone at your house, you don't get to deduct that off your taxes. As a matter of fact, you're taxed from your job first. You bring the after-tax money home, and then you pay your bills. As a business owner, you get the money, you pay your bills and expenses, and then your taxes are calculated. So it is an advantage tax wise. There are a number of things that you can reduce your taxes with when you have a small business. Communications, any computers, iPads, things that are assets that you purchase. Your travel, if it's business related, of course, any of this stuff will be business related. Advertisements, flyers that you're getting, that you're posting, any meals or lunches that you're having, any professional fees. If you have a consultant like me and you pay me, you can put me on your taxes and write me off. Never write me off, but you can write me off your taxes. Um, and things like that. So you're going to have tax advantages. The other thing with an LLC is that LLCs provide less formal requirements than other corporations. So a corporation, you have to have shareholders and things like that. With a LLC, you do not. It can just be you. It can simply be you, but it takes some of the liability off of you. So if you are doing business and somebody decides to sue you, and you have a LLC in place. So let's just use a dancer as an example, because that was what I did first as my first side hustle. So I'm a dancer, I'm a dance teacher, and I'm dancing and I'm doing my thing. And somebody decides that I broke their mirrors at their studio when I was teaching, and they decide to sue me. Well, they can only sue my LLC. So they could only sue Samara Michelle LLC, Samara Michelle Dancer LLC. They couldn't take my house and my car for those mirrors. That's important, because when things happen, and we're in a real litigious society, like people always, they're always trying to sue. So it's really important for you to make sure that you have, liability things in place as a business owner. And again, if you're applying for any opportunities, any government contracts, any funding, they're going to want you to have your legal structure in place to keep the liability off of them. So you have to make sure that you have that LLC in place. So it's going to help you with protecting your assets and protecting, the things that are good to you personally. And then it really, really allows for you to have a proof of business activities. So when we become our own business, sometimes we feel like we don't have a boss. But there's always a boss. Like, your customers are your boss. People that are giving you opportunities are your boss. And they're going to ask you for things. They're going to make sure that they want to make sure that you have your things in order and your business in order. And so you want to make sure that you are that you have things in order. So you have your proof of your business activities by having your LLC. That is your proof. It's your license. It is your stuff. In addition to your LLC, as far as proof of business activities are concerned, you're going to need an EIN. You're going to need business insurance. You're going to need the business insurance is liability insurance, depending on your business. So general liability insurance for any business owner is less than $50 a month. I don't even think it's that, but it's about $400 to $500 a year. And then if you are in a business like dance, there is some other, or food, there are some other insurance things that you need to have in place. If you're working on people's car, there are other insurance that you need to get in place to help you with that. So you're going to need your EIN, you're going to need your business insurance, you're going to need a business bank account. All of these things they're going to ask you for your LLC and your incorporation information first. So it's important for you to get that stuff taken care of. So I know a lot of people take pause on getting their LLC because they want to make sure they have everything in place. They want to make sure that they have all of their stuff in place. And the the truth is that you can get your LLC, you can get incorporated with the state, and you can make it your name. Just Samara Michelle Inc., Samara Michelle LLC. And then you can do business under other names. So don't let all of the bells and whistles stop you from making sure that your business is legit. Some of those things can come after. One of the very first things you want to do is make sure that you are getting incorporated. And each state has its own incorporation platform. I said that in the beginning. So you want to make sure that you do it with the state. There are websites and things that can help you. I don't suggest going to if you just Google it. I don't suggest going to sites that are going to cost you a lot of money. I won't name any sites, but if someone is asking for a lot of money to help you register your business, that's not the site. You can go directly to the site on your own. I do have some workshops that I talk about this within the context of the workshop. I don't have anything where I just charge to get you incorporated, because it really is a baseline thing that you can look up and do. But some of my clients have questions and it stops them from incorporating and those sorts of things. So like my 30-day business launch, I will walk you through it, hand hold you through it, but that's part of a bigger program that you're paying for. So that's always good. So the other thing, Sharon, hey Miss Sharon, that she mentioned that I need to mention is the is the business license. So depending on your business, you may not need to get a business license. Typically, if you have a brick and mortar, you definitely need a business license. You just need to look it up. Business licenses per county have different requirements. So look up if you need to have a business license to do business in your industry. There's also other insurance and other things that are specific to industry that you'll need to look up. But specifically, an LLC is limited liability corporation. It is typically for a solopreneur, entrepreneur, sole proprietor. You also can do partnerships with this, or you move into a corporation. So you have to look it up again. But these are the advantages of having an LLC. Just you doing business as an LLC. Let me see what else. That is pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I do want to reiterate that you want to have these things in order. You want to make sure that they're in order. I have been doing grant writing and proposal writing and getting contracts with school systems and counties, and I have never won any of this stuff without my incorporation, which is your LLC. If you choose to do a LLC, if you choose to do a corporation, a nonprofit corporation is different. That's when you're doing something that's community based. I'm going to have another live that talks specifically about nonprofit corporations. But you want to make sure you have your incorporation. You want to make sure you have an EIN, that you have licensing and insurance that is appropriate for your business. And Miss Sharon says, great bookkeeping. That's a whole nother live. But these things will help you get to those things, especially like having a business bank account and having your money separate. Once you get your LLC and you get your business bank account, that helps with your bookkeeping and keeping things separate. You don't want your funds to commingle. And so we'll talk about that on a separate live, and we'll talk about bookkeeping on a separate live, and some more of the tax stuff on a separate live. I just wanted to give you guys a baseline of what an LLC is and why it's important to get one. I know there's a lot of you out there making money and just, getting it here or there. And a lot of times, sometimes we don't have an LLC because we feel like we're getting over, or we're getting we have things under the table, or, oh, they'll just pay me and I don't need to do a corporation. But there really are a lot of advantages to having a corporation. There's even discounts on different services because you're a business. So, you have the opportunity to do those things. And are you going to talk about the difference between Inc. and S corporation? And can't wait to talk about 501c3 stuff. So, I am not going to get deep into S corporation today, but I will do another live about the differences between and just specifically on Inc. and S corporation. I'll do another one. You guys can post any questions that you want in the small business strategy group, and I can open the floor and answer those questions there. Definitely the 501c3. I am having a free grant writing workshop this Thursday, and I will talk about 501c3 stuff there. So, Mr. Melvin, I think you are already registered, but anybody that wants to know about nonprofit definitely should come to the workshop. Miss Sharon said, especially now with all the funds and loans being given out, there's money everywhere. I'm getting texts, emails, calls about grants. I'm going to post some in the group after this, and we can do that. Yes, Miss Sharon, we can collaborate. I haven't forgot. And what else was I going to say? Oh, on Tuesday, I'm having a free small business workshop, and we are going to talk about a lot of stuff about grants. We're going to talk about your more about your incorporation. We're going to talk about your mindset and why it's important to have a mindset and what you need to start your business. So that's on Tuesday. All of this stuff can be registered for. Mr. Melvin said he's registered for my next 3 events. I appreciate it. You can register for everything at SamaraMichelle.com. I just put it in the group. And Royce, you asked about can you get grants for small businesses? Absolutely. So prior to COVID-19 and prior to the eruption of the Black Lives Matter movement, there were not a lot of grants that weren't coming. Let me say that again. There weren't a lot of grants that were coming for-profit organizations. Most grants were for nonprofit 501c3 organizations. But now, small business, Black-owned business, women-owned businesses, there's funding because of both COVID-19 and because of the social unrest. A lot of corporations are really trying to have funds for Black-owned and women-owned businesses. And so they are launching funds to help, starter funds, all sorts of things. And this is why I wanted to make sure that we talked, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were ready, because you have to be incorporated. You have to have your ducks in a row in order to get this stuff. So whether you're a for-profit or nonprofit business, I encourage you to come to both the grant writing workshop and the free small business workshop. They are free. So other than your time, and they're online, so you can sit at home. You don't even have to turn your camera on, and you can come and join me and, get some good information like you did today. If you enjoyed the live, make sure you put in the comments. Make sure you tell your friends to join the Small Business Strategy Group. It will be up in the Small Business Strategy Group for you to enjoy, to look at some of my other videos that I've already posted. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Again, if you have any more questions after we get off, go ahead and post them in the group, and we will be ready. All right. Bye.